Picture this: Rome's mighty empire crumbles in 476 AD, plunging Europe into chaos where barbarians roam, plagues ravage, and kings rise from the ashes. But from this darkness, a new world emerges, one of knights, castles, and crusades that shapes everything we know today. Welcome to Simple Historian, where we make epic tales from the past, simple, thrilling, and impossible to forget. Let's dive right in. Back in the 5th century, the Western Roman Empire, once a powerhouse stretching from Britain to the Middle East, falls apart. Invaders like the Visigoths sack Rome in 410, and by 476, a barbarian leader named Odoacer kicks out the last emperor, a kid named Romulus Augustulus. No more grand roads, aqueducts, or central government. Cities shrink, trade crashes, and literacy drops. Historians call this the Dark Ages, but it wasn't all doomed. People adapted, blending Roman ways with new ideas from Germanic tribes. These tribes set up kingdoms across Europe. The Ostrogoths grab Italy, Visigoths take Spain, and the Franks settle in what we now call France. They convert to Christianity, mixing old pagan beliefs with the new faith. Kings like Clovis of the Franks unite tribes through clever marriages and brutal battles, creating the Merovingian dynasty. But these kingdoms are shaky. Constant wars, no strong economy, and fading Roman tech make life tough. Peasants farm tiny plots, while warriors' loyalty to their lords keep society glued together. Meanwhile, the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantines, thrives in Constantinople. Emperor Justinian, in the 6th century, dreams big. He reconquers parts of Italy and North Africa, rebuilds the Hagia Sophia, that stunning church-turned-mosque, and codifies Roman laws that influence Europe forever. But plagues like the one in 541 wipe out millions, weakening them. Then, in the 7th century, Arab armies explode out of the desert, conquering the Middle East and North Africa under Islam. They build a caliphate that's advanced in math, medicine, and philosophy. Think algebra and star maps, while Europe lags behind. Fast forward to the 8th century. Frankish leader Charles Martel smashes them. His family, the Carolingians, take over. His grandson, Charlemagne, Charles the Great, becomes a legend. Crowned emperor by the Pope in 800, he conquers from France to Italy, promotes education in his Carolingian Renaissance, and standardizes coins and laws. Schools pop up in monasteries, copying ancient books. Charlemagne's empire unites Western Christians, but after his death in 815, his sons split, it leading to modern France and Germany. The 9th and 10th centuries bring more trouble. Vikings from Scandinavia raid coasts in longships, grabbing loot from England to Russia. Magyars, future Hungarians, storm from the east, and Muslim pirates hit the south. Kings can't protect everyone, so power shifts local. Enter feudalism. Lords grant land fiefs to vassals in exchange for military service. Knights in armor on horseback become the stars. Think stirrups, making charges deadly. Peasants, or serfs, work the land tied to it like property, paying with crops and labor. Castles sprout everywhere. Wooden at first, then stone fortresses. It's a web of oaths. I protect you, you fight for me. But around 1000 AD, things brighten. The High Middle Ages kick off with warmer weather boosting farms. New plows, windmills, and 3-field crop rotation mean more food, exploding the population from 35 million to 80 million by 1300. Towns boom. Trade revives along rivers and seas. Merchants in Italy, like Venice, get rich shipping spices and silk, forming guilds and independent city-states. Universities rise in Bologna and Paris, teaching law, medicine, and theology. Gothic cathedrals soar with pointed arches and stained glass, like Notre Dame, symbols of faith and engineering genius. The Church, it's huge. Popes like Gregory VII in the 11th century fight emperors over power. Who appoints bishops? This investiture controversy peaks with Emperor Henry IV begging forgiveness in the snow at Canossa. The Church becomes a superorganization, collecting tithes, 10% taxes, running courts, and inspiring art. Monks and orders like the Benedictines preserve knowledge, copying manuscripts by hand. Europe expands outward to in 1066. Norman William the Conqueror invades England, wins at Hastings, and brings feudalism across the Channel. Think the Doomsday Book, surveying every pig and plow. In Spain, Christian kingdoms push back Muslims in the Reconquista, slowly reclaiming land. Germans settle east into Slavic areas, spreading farms and towns. Then, the Crusades. In 1095, Pope Urban II calls warriors to retake Jerusalem from Muslims. Thousands march, east, some for glory, some for land, some for forgiveness of sins. The First Crusade in 1099 captures Jerusalem, setting up kingdoms, but later ones flop, like the Fourth in 1204, sacking Byzantine Constantinople. Overall, Crusades boost trade with the East, bring back Greek knowledge, but cost lives and breed mistrust. By the 12th century, kings strengthen. In England, Henry II sets up common law. His son Richard the Lionheart crusades while John signs the Magna Carta in 1215, limiting royal power. Francis Philip II grabs Norman lands, building a bureaucracy. But the Holy Roman Empire stays fragmented, a patchwork of princes and cities. Enter the late Middle Ages around 1300, climate cools, rains ruin crops, famine hits. Then, the Black Death and 1347 bubonic plague from Asia kills 30 to 50% of Europeans, maybe 25 million. Bodies pile up, villages empty. Survivors demand better pay. Peasants revolt like in England's 1381 Peasants' Revolt. Nobles lose power as labor shortages free serfs. Innovation surges. Gunpowder from China changes horse cannons blast castles, infantry with pikes, beat knights. The Hundred Years' War, 1337 to 1453, between England and France sees Joan of Arc. Rally troops in 1429, turning the tide with her visions. France wins, kicking out English claims. In Italy, the Renaissance blooms. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo revive classical styles. Humanists like Petrarch study ancient texts. Gutenberg's printing press, in 1450, spreads books fast. Spain unites under Ferdinand and Isabella in 1492, conquering Granada and funding Columbus, kicking off exploration. By 1500, Europe transforms. Stronger kings, nation-states like France and England emerge. Trade explodes, ideas flow. The Middle Ages end, paving the way for the modern world Reformation. Colonies, science. What a ride! From Roman ruins to Renaissance genius, medieval Europe was no dark time. It was a forge of fire building our world. Thanks for joining Simple Historian. If this hooked you, like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What's your favorite medieval hero? See you next time for more simple, epic history.